Bless you.
What have you done with our PA?
Same as lock it up. Maybe you lost the keys. So I can touch it.
Can't do anything with that, the boss. Let me know what you're saying.
And then we watch a movie in my second class.
Good. I'd like to call to order the June 18th, 2025 regular public board meeting. Mr. Jones, please call the roll.
Ms. Barve,
Here.
Ms. Bauer, Mr. Benedict,
Here.
Ms. Boroff,
Here.
Ms. Brody,
Here.
Dr. Kolakowski,
Here.
Ms. Suriani,
Here.
Ms. Williams,
Here.
Mr. Murray.
Here, quorum is present. If I could ask if everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is on that wall over there. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have instructional updates, so SSDS and HIB reporting.
Oh, Christine.
Iursi.
Hi, good evening. Okay, good evening, Dr. Mass, Dr. McGarry, Board of Education. Tonight I will present the Harassment, Intimidation, and Bullying Report. Here is an overview of what I will cover. I'll start with some specifics of HIB, and then I will provide information for investigations, trainings, and programs for the September through December 2024 reporting period. The statute defines harassment, intimidation, or bullying as any gesture, written, verbal, or physical act, or any electronic communication, whether it be a single incident or a series of incidents, that is reasonably perceived as being motivated either by any actual or perceived characteristic, such as race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, or a mental, physical, or sensory disability, or by any other distinguishing characteristic. The incident is required to take place on school property, at any school-sponsored function, on a school bus, or off school grounds that substantially disrupts or interferes with the orderly operation of the school or the rights of other students, and that a reasonable person should know under the circumstances that the act will cause one of the following three. One, has the effect of physically or emotionally harming a student or damaging the student's property or placing a student in reasonable fear of physical or emotional harm or damage to his property. Two, has the effect of insulting or demeaning any student or group of students. Or three, creates a hostile educational environment for the student by interfering with the student's education or by severely or pervasively causing physical or emotional harm to the student. It is our anti-bullying specialists who conduct these investigations. Here is a list of them. They also serve in a leadership role on their school safety and climate team and implement trainings for students, staff, and parents. They receive mandated training and work closely with me as the anti-bullying coordinator. There's information on our school district's website regarding our HIB policy, a parent guide from the New Jersey Department of Education, and our state HIB grades. You can also access a link if you need to report an HIB incident. Here is a table listing investigations conducted at each school from September through December. There were a total of 34 investigations, in which 8 were confirmed HIB. So for trainings, each school conducted trainings to support a positive school climate. The elementary school staff prepared activities from the Sandy Hook Promise Start with Hello program to make sure that every student felt that they are welcome and a part of what goes on in school. The activities focused on how important it is to be accepting of everyone despite individual differences. The social emotional learning curriculum, Second Step, was introduced during morning meeting time. The Margaret and Peter Chang Foundation provided the funding for us to partner with Imagine, a center coping with loss, designed to educate the stakeholders in our students' lives on grief education so they know best how to support the students through any type of loss. All the schools began the year with information about our HIB policy. Coles and McGinn were selected for the DREAMS program, which stands for Developing Resiliency with Engaging Approaches to Maximize Success. The grant provided these 2 schools with training in the Nurtured Heart approach and a trauma foundational series by working closely with community mentors. Each of them had a staff member become a certified trainer in December and formed a champion team made up of several staff members who have worked closely with the community mentors. Several staff members at the high school were trained by the New Jersey Bar Foundation in restorative justice to explore an approach that considers the needs and obligations of all stakeholders in a community. It is a way to help contribute to a positive school climate with strong relationships and opportunities to learn and grow from mistakes. Inspired by the book, The Anxious Generation, a family presentation was held for parents and students to review concerns related to screen time and mental health. There were breakout sessions so parents could learn how to set realistic goals at home, and the students tracked and reflected on their screen time. Families were then brought back together to create family contracts. And lastly, listed are the district-wide trainings that took place during those months, which included school-based threat assessment team training, substance use and child abuse prevention training, and school safety climate team meetings. So you could see that a total of 33 trainings in those 4 months. This brings us to the final portion, which looks at specific programming to prevent or reduce HIB incidents. Here's a list of all of the programs categorized by ones that provided either universal support to all students, targeted support, or individualized support. And to highlight a few, the high school instituted the Not in Our Schools program that seeks to empower students to forge inclusive environments that stand up to bullying, bigotry, and all forms of intolerance. The campaign strives to craft a school culture and climate in which students feel safe, respected, and understood. It involves all stakeholders and encourages students to be upstanders. The Superintendent Principal Advisory Committee consists of students from all 4 grade levels and meets monthly with administration to discuss issues related to community, safety, wellness, and support. And student engagement has been increased during the unit lunch period, offering common physical activities, library use, board games, art, music, and homework help. The middle schools kicked off the year focused on different ways to promote and celebrate character education. This was done through lesson design and monthly Character ACE Awards to recognize positive behavior. The school newsletter has been another way to communicate all of the wonderful school events, including Hispanic Heritage and Spirit Week. The school climate and health and wellness committees met as well, and the school climate committee implemented the school climate survey to identify their goals for the school year. And at the elementary schools, there were anti-bullying and school climate assemblies, such as core values, kickoff assembly, expectations assembly, and a super me assembly, which I think we could all use on occasion. New student groups to help ease the transition for transfer students who are new to our school district. There were events to signify certain themed weeks, such as Week of Respect. There's also World Kindness Day to teach and remind students the positive difference they can make for those around them. There have been opportunities for students to gather, greet, share news, and address challenges at the start of each school day during the morning meetings. Some of those meetings were held school-wide to really foster a caring and respectful learning environment throughout the school. And the schools creatively celebrated Spirit Week. And lastly, activities for Heritage Month took place to embrace diversity in our community. There were 74 programs over 4 months, indicating the efforts made by our principals, teachers, parents and students to ensure a safe and welcoming school environment. Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Any questions for Ms. Iarsi?
Nope.
No?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
She don't. She don't.
No. I'm good.
Okay, so HIB investigations, Dr. Mast.
So this is the SSDS public report. The SSDS combines two state testing reporting systems, the Electronic Violence and Vandalism Report Summary and the Harassment, Intimidation, Bullying Investigation Training and Program System. The data presented is based on 5 identified categories by the State Department of Education and is entered biannually into the reporting system. This data is reported publicly to the board 2 times a year. The following data is for the reporting period of September to December of 2024. In the category of violence, there were 10 incidents. In the category of vandalism, there were 0 incidents. In the category of weapons, there were 0 incidents. And in the category of substance, there were 3. And in the category of HIBs, there were 8 confirmed cases. That's my report.
Any questions for Dr. Mast? Okay. So we will now move to executive session reports. So in exec, we discussed personnel, HIB, suspension and detention, and we got a legal status report from our board attorney. Board president announcement. So the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law is enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the Board of Education offices located at 313 South Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey. Such notices are also provided in written notice form to the Union County Hawk, the Star Ledger, and the Township Clerk of Scotch Plains, the Borough Clerk of Fanwood, in the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings as adopted April 25th, 2024, and revised August 27th, 2024. Before we move to the next section, there is a individual sitting up here that is sitting in their first meeting. So as you're aware, Amy Winkler had resigned from the board effective June 1st. She has apparently missed us already and is back here at the meeting, maybe for public comment. We'll soon see. So we had 4 residents of Fanwood apply for the open vacancy. We held the interview session last night, and I'm pleased to say that Jason Benedict is our newly appointed board member representing Fanwood with Ms. Boroff for the remainder of this year, where the remainder of the term will be voted on in the November election with petitions due by the end of July. I think it's the 26th-ish range, right? 28th?
July 28th, Monday.
For the remainder of that term. So Jason, welcome. Thank you. We have some additions to the agenda, H24, H25, H26, 27, and 28. This is a rather long agenda. It's the last meeting of the school year, which is typically the longest. Superintendent's report, Dr. Mast.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. So, at the end of the year, we have a number of events that are dependent on the weather, and unfortunately, next week is really predicted to be a very concerning heat wave. So we had to make some adjustments to our events, and a letter went out today with the schedule changes for next week based on that predicted heat wave. That's one thing. And then just, tonight, it being the last board meeting, it certainly signals the end of the school year. Looking back on the school year, there's so much to celebrate. One is, the passing of the second referendum. Really thank you to everyone who worked on that. Thank you to the community for supporting that. And thank you for supporting the work that will begin soon, because Mr. Jones has an exciting announcement. The onboarding of our new high school principal was intense work that we did this year, following in Dr. Heisey's shoes, someone who's been here for so long and beloved. Having a new person is just, a change, a positive change, but one that really required the system to adapt. We had our own Emily Litz, who is a fifth grade teacher over at Nettingham, receive the Milken Educator Award, which is very much a big deal, and we are just so pleased that she's brought all of that positive attention to the district. And right now, we are in the throes of celebrating the class of 2025. We are not missing them yet. We are still celebrating them, and much is to come there. There's so many things that we are so very grateful for. I need everyone to rest and have a delightful summer break because we need to recharge for the new school year. We will begin the work on the LeGrand School, and we will be creating and designing a new process for our strategic planning. While we know SPF is a great place to raise and educate our kids, we're committed to its continued improvement. So thank you to our educators, family, and community for all the ways that you support the district. And I would just like to highlight, when we get to the personnel report, we will be announcing with the board approval, the new assistant principal at the high school. So that's stay on the edge of your chairs for that exciting announcement.
Thank you, Dr. Mass.
Thank you.
Jones.
So I have a lot to go over tonight, but just for now, I just want to announce, so last week we closed on 330 South Avenue, so we're official owners of the property, so congratulations all. There's a couple items on the agenda tonight that'll kick off that process. I'll go through those in a second, and then you'll see we are really deep into the planning process and submitting final plans to the state actually today. And in the August meeting will be a significant amount of approvals to really kick that off in earnest, and we will we are targeting the fall of 2026 for an opening. So
Thank you, Mr. Jones. So in a long list of lasts for the school year, we will have one of our two last, well, Mac's last board update. Clearly not Grace's, but Mac is going to be giving his last student board rep update tonight. So Mac, or Grace, whoever started.
So I'll start. Basically, it is the end of the year, and during the end of May, we had our junior prom at the Westwood, and the theme was black and gold, and everyone had a great time on the dance floor. And besides that, finals started today, and so everybody's kind of in their final stretch, and the stress of ending junior year and college preparations for next year are in the air, but everybody is just kind of wrapping up the year, and spring sports have also ended their season, so yeah.
I kind of have a lot of senior events to share about just because that's kind of been my life recently, but we finished our senior projects last week at the high school, and there's been the final presentations this week. And I think Dr. Hines came in and kind of made a lot of changes to the senior project and what it looks like, and I think all those changes were definitely for the better. It was really structured and ran really well this year, and I know myself and all the other students that participated really enjoyed it. We had our senior picnic last Friday at the high school, which was a nice opportunity to start saying, not goodbyes, but celebrating each other and getting to sign yearbooks and celebrate the end of the year. Senior prom is this Friday at the Imperia. We had scholarship night on May 29th, which was a great night to celebrate students and all of their achievements. And then for last was the senior clap out last Friday, which was new to the district this year and ended up being so great. I know I worked with Dr. Mast and all the elementary school principals to make it happen, and I'm so happy with how it ended up. It was a really great event, and I heard so many great things from parents, students, elementary students, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future and that I get to leave a little mark on our district. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Mac, very much. We're going to miss you. Good luck next year. Good luck with the rest of the school year. All right, we're going to move on to our first public comment session. So in accordance with Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Bylaws 0164-0165, the meeting will be open for 15 minutes for public comment, maximum 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers addressing superintendent items, business functions, or other board business will be heard first. If time remains, speakers may address the other matters. Speakers, please state your full name and the town in which you reside. Boards use the public comment period as an opportunity to listen to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into a question and answer session or cross-examination between the public and the individual members. Be aware that not all issues brought before the board will be resolved that evening. Boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or her designee. With that being said, if you have a public comment, please come to the microphones. Please state your name and the town in which you reside. Thank you.
Okay. Mike Oman Washington, Senior, Scotch Plains. All to here belong. Thank you for the cup, Dr. Mass, a couple years ago at one of the workshops. Raises some questions. All to here belong. Does here belong to all? I think I had asked that before. I'm going to read this because I'll forget. If I don't, I'll try to go on memory. What's even better than an exciting martial arts assembly at school? An actual week of two classes each for every student in grades 6 through 8 on site. On June 2nd through 5th at Nettingham Middle School, Family and Community Engagement Corps, or FACE Corps, provided very motivating and inspiring sessions filled with nuggets of wisdom, history lessons, and advice for the classes of as many as almost 70 participants. It was epic. It was a great time. I am FACE Corps Executive Director, and I'm also the Chief Instructor of the Goshen Academy on East 2nd Street in Scotch Plains. The International Sports Week event that was organized, it was organized by Ms. Katharina at Nettingham Middle School, aided by other physical education teachers, and I was recommended by Principal Dumares to provide the sessions. The students overwhelmingly raved about the experience and received an invitation to take free classes at Goshen for 2 weeks and join our Academic Martial Arts League. A few of our members who are also Nettingham students helped out, including my own 2 children right over there, and I want to recognize them along with all the other Nettingham, because this is about the children. I spoke on the necessity to embrace and honor our diversity and common roots. I taught that martial arts systems actually began in ancient Africa many centuries ago, which many people do not know. They were treated to great soulful music, very apropos considering it was at Nettingham, a school recently named after an heroic black trailblazer. We talked about reasons for training in martial arts and all the potential benefits for everyone, including self-confidence, self-discipline, mental health, fitness, leadership skills, and more. It improves and even saves lives, training in martial arts. FACE Corps has also provided after-school martial arts classes in Plainfield schools for the Plainfield Community Outreach, PCO, organization, and is including the participants in our Academic Martial Arts League. League activities include self-defense and fitness training, sports competition, providing demonstrations and assembly programs, community service projects, and strong measures to ensure scholastic success. This is vital work. We're expanding our league, which is open to students ages 6 through 17. We offer free classes for youth and anyone else to try Goshen Academy on East 2nd Street in Scotch Plains. Because I'm both a martial arts master and have 5 decades of experience as a certified school teacher, retired now, in helping those with special needs and disabilities, I feel uniquely qualified.
Sorry, I'm going to just jump in there. So your time for this public comment has expired. Just a couple of things. There is another public comment period later in the meeting. And also, if you have a written prepared statement, you could also send that to the board so they could reflect it in the minutes as well. But that is your time for this session.
Okay,
if
so
you're
no
near the
extended.
end, I'll let you finish. But if you have a while to go, I'd suggest...
No, I don't have a while. I just cover. We want to combine efforts with the various school districts, Scotch Plains and Plainfield, to serve even more youth. I previously discussed this with Dr. Mass and other leaders. This falls under your strategic plan. I'm not just a person that runs this nonprofit, but, you know, as I said, I have children in the district. I have a vested interest, not just because of them, but all children in the district. So the strategic plan, I asked that the Scotch Plains Family Board of Ed allow me to sit down with you and discuss or propose something that actually can do a lot for students in this district. Something unheard of, but is long overdue. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Does anyone else have any public comment for this session? There's also another public comment at the end. Okay, seeing no one, I will close this portion. Move on to additional reports. Letters to the board, we received 11, and they were forwarded on to the appropriate administrator. We'll now move on to committee reports. I think we have a few. Ms. Brody?
I have a finance committee report. We basically just discussed some agenda items. One is the McGinn Playground donation, and that's for the installation of existing equipment from the PTA. The stage curtain repairs need to be done. It's $60,000 total, but most of the schools just need to have them professionally cleaned. Terrell Middle needs to have them replaced with flame-proof curtains and repair the curtain rack, which is a half of that, which is $30,000. And this will be paid from extraordinary aid. At 330 South Avenue, the oil tank removal needs to be done at $100,000, and this will come out of capital reserve, and this amount was credited from the seller. The IT sale of older iPads, and it's an approval by bid request. The 24-25 transportation addendum, we have an additional aid on a bus. 25-26 transportation, it only increased by the CPI of 3.5%. We have transferred to capital reserve an estimated of $4 million. The lease purchase approval, and that was done by Apple. The YMCA pool use went from $45,000, a slight increase from $40,000. The school lunch prices are overall, we have an estimated profitable lunch account of $10,000 to $15,000 for the year. Our standard lunch prices will remain flat. There'll be slight increases in unhealthy foods such as cookies. And the district insurance was over budget this year. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Brody. Any questions? Other committee reports?
I have curriculum.
Sure.
Okay. I'll try to be quick because the curriculum committee had many agenda items for its last meeting of the school year. The first was sometimes some of our staff, in furthering their own educations, conduct very important and interesting research in the classroom. So the first item was kindergarten teacher, Ms. Jarrett, discussing her dissertation research project that she's conducting in her kindergarten classroom, where she's usually using critical literacy practices to consider how color and racial identity are explored in children's books. The second agenda item, we had two SPFHS students, and Mr. Moscow, the audiovisual teacher and their advisor in a capacity, they came to screen their student movie project. It was an award-winning submission in the NJHS Film Fest. So we got to watch their short film, and they were able to discuss it with us. I think they had like 5 days to create it, and they were given a couple of parameters, and so they really had to be creative, and it was really fun to watch it and hear that they developed their passion for movie making in the Creative Summer Workshop program over the course of their education. The third agenda item was discussing the NEST, which special education teacher Ms. Overeem came to discuss, that the NEST had its 5th year anniversary. So this is a program for our self-contained students at Nettingham, where they travel to the high school on Thursday afternoons, and they use the life skills room to supply a cafe that they then operate back at Nettingham, offering seasonal refreshments to customers. So they collaborate with a speech teacher who helps them develop recipes. They then make a list of needed ingredients. They watch videos on how to make the items. They then actually create the items and baked goods and fulfill the orders. And they develop their social skills as they deliver the items and speak with their customers, who are school staff. So there is a lot of great learning happening as part of that NEST initiative. And we were able to watch a video that took us through the students' process and some interviews with them. So that was really nice to see. The committee also heard about summer assignments, which we hear every year at this time, for grades 6 and up, mandatory summer work. Ms. Kelly Dunstan and Dr. McKenna came to discuss summer reading, nonfiction and fiction options, as usual, that were very thoughtfully selected to foster reading for continued literacy and also to jumpstart the curriculum for the next academic year for the students. So I know I received a letter this week, so people should have received a letter about the Summer Reading Hub that is on our district website, and tips for parents on how to engage kids in reading over the summer. And also, just for people that are interested, the public libraries are rolling out summer reading events that also incentivize kids to read. Okay. Two things that the board votes on every year at this time are the curriculum matrix and the summer curriculum development projects. So both of those are on the agenda tonight for approval, and the board should have received complete listings for those two things. The committee also talked about the Focus Competitive Grant proposal. This was a grant proposal. Actually, the district was granted this. If the board, again, that's on the agenda for approval tonight, the grant would supply approximately $17,000, which is based on our enrollment and a per pupil allotment for the adoption and implementation of universal screening for foundational literacy skills. So the grant would allow the selection, purchasing, and implementation of a literacy screening tool. And again, that is on the agenda tonight for board approval. A couple more things. The New Jersey GPA Summer Support Institute, which is the graduation proficiency assessment. This year, our district will be offering over the summer support for students who need additional support to pass that assessment. In the past, students were able to use additional measures like the PSAT to place out of that assessment, but that is no longer the case per state law. So students who do not achieve a passing score have to enroll in a course to help support them to pass that assessment. So parents of those students would be getting letters, and the students would receive extra support over the summer to help them retake that test in the fall. And the committee also received a few updates on some past agenda items that we've talked about over the course of this past year. The lab room, which was a student-led Shark Tank type project. It had lower enrollment than was hoped for, but there were 3 students, middle school students, that did participate. And so we were able to hear that they did create projects and that they were honored for their participation along with their parents for their projects. Additionally, 2 other research studies happening in the district. One is Rutgers research into STEM and middle school girls' attitudes toward it, and that is an ongoing project. Data has been collected and is currently being analyzed. And another study on the dynamic between supervisors and teachers of social studies and civics, and that was something previously discussed, and data has also been collected for that project and is currently being analyzed. And we will meet again with another full agenda at the end of August. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Ariane. Any questions? Ms. Boroff?
Thank you. Student activities and athletics. Student Athletics and Activities, sorry. We met on June 16th, sort of a special meeting just to finish up the year and some clarifications. Due to the merging of FBLA and DECA, we had the stipend there from one of the organizations that it was recommended that we approve the following stipends. So this is both very exciting. There's 2 new honor societies, Business Honor Society and Math Honor Society. Additionally, there will be a stipend that will go towards Not in Our Schools to continue fostering an environment against hatred. And finally, the Environmental Club, in support of Mr. Rittner's programming that has brought in special guests and really some exciting programs for the students. So we're really glad that we were able to allow or expand some stipends. Additionally, just for everyone's knowledge, that Dr. Hines is looking at all of the existing clubs and how we continue to support them in the future, and intentions for stipends, and sort of doing a red light, yellow, green light schematic for us. I did want to mention, as did, I think it was Grace, about our sports teams in this final season. I want to thank, we had some great seasons by the boys volleyball, the baseball team, boys tennis, golf, flag football, girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, softball, and girls track. But I did want to point out that for softball, we went 20-7 as county champions. That was very exciting. Boys tennis, we had, I'm going to not pronounce this correctly, and I apologize. A student, Sanj Brood, I believe is his last name.
Sahasrabudhe.
Yes.
Thank you. There you go. Well, congratulate your nephew for getting the county's singles champion. And then our boys volleyball team went 27-5, won the Watchung Division, Union County North Group 3. Our golf team was 10-3, girls lacrosse went 12-9. I mean, we had some really great records this year, and I don't want to leave off that even though the record, we're working on it. Congrats to flag football. It was the first year, I believe, that we had a team going, and so I'm glad to see that it's on there, and thanks for all the spirit for all the teams this year.
Yeah, second year.
Thank you, Ms. Boroff. Any questions for Ms. Boroff? Okay, moving on. We had our enrollment report we were provided with. Moving on to the 2 superintendent sections, both superintendent curriculum and superintendent personnel.
Okay, 1 is the out-of-district placements. 2 are the HIB reports, though there weren't any for that period. 3 is the biannual gift reporting. 4 is the SSDS and the HIB report that we heard earlier. And 5 is the matrix of forms. Moving to the personnel and the curriculum, it's the out-of-district placements. It's the administrator for the Creative Summer Workshop. It's approving our supervisory tools for the Marshall rubric and the Danielson rubric, and the curriculum matrix that Mrs. Saradani referenced earlier. 5 is approving the grant application submission. And 6, thank you, Dr. McGarry, for the equity plan. It's approving that comprehensive equity plan that we discussed. And 7 is the emergency virtual instruction program that we are obliged to do every year. And 8 is providing the superintendent authorization for the summer before we meet again. And 9 is the board officials. And 10 is the personnel report.
Thanks, Dr. Mass. So we blocked, obviously, all of your items into one, so this will be a roll call once we have a motion and a second. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Brody, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Barv? Sorry. Do we have any comments or questions on any of the items that Dr. Mass has gone through? Seeing none, Mr. Jones, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Barbaty?
Yes.
Mr. Benedict?
Yes.
Mrs. Boroff?
Yes.
Ms. Brody?
Yes.
Dr. Kolakowski?
Yes.
Ms. Siriani?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes. Those items all pass.
If I could just make one quick
Sure.
highlight. In the personnel report, what's included in that is the approval of the new additional assistant principal at the high school, who is a person who is currently a teacher, I believe also a graduate of Scotch Plains Fairwood High School, Amy Rakowski. So if you see her, congratulate her.
Thank you, Dr. Metz. We will now move over to Mr. Jones, who has quite a long list of items in many sections, so I don't know how you want to tackle it. Do you want to block it all, or you want to do
block it
section
all.
by section?
We'll block it all. Unless, yeah. You want
Okay.
unless somebody, just stop me as I'm going if you have questions. Okay, start here. So the first section is the 24-25 to end the year. Some staff training, a couple related services for special education students. Two special education settlement agreements we discussed in exec. The McGinn Playground donation, discussed by Ms. Brody. Ms. Brody. Stage curtain replacement was discussed. And then number 7 is the oil tank. So again, just want to emphasize that we got a credit for this in our negotiations for the close of the building to remove this. Number 8 is the lease purchase bid award. I think this one is talk a little bit about this. So this is the first year, so this is fairly expensive. These are all our iPads for all our students. And this is the first year that Apple actually bid on the financing for it. And they were significantly lower than the other bids. The second lowest bid was 3.9% interest rate, and Apple was 1.8%. So this is great. So hopefully they'll continue to do this going forward, and actually helps with a lot of our execution as well. Next, textbook disposals. Some IT equipment we will put out to bid. Library book disposals we do every year. Equipment disposal, of course, these will be sold on Gov Deals. If we can sell them, we will, if there's bids. Transportation, we added an aid to one of our transportation routes this year. It has to be board approved. These are just costs to issue our bonds for legal, and we actually came in under budget for our fees for bond issuance. 15 is to forgive free and reduced lunches. So as students come on, they go to lunch on their first day or second day, and then they fill out the application for free and reduced lunch. So in that first week or two, they incur some balances. So once they get approved for free and reduced lunch, we then have to forgive those through a board motion. Equipment purchases, these are as part of our, we have I think it's about an 8-year plan to replace our vehicles, and this is just part of that process. 17 as well, same thing. 18 is the generator at Nettingham. This generator is from the 1950s, so it was due to be replaced. 19 is just our annual resolution to transfer funds to our capital reserves, was highlighted by Ms. Brody. These are standard monthly reports, fire drills, financial reports, disbursement listing, payment of bills, and then the additions to the agenda. Special education agreements, and then the 330 South again. So one of the first things we need to do after the oil tank is to run our fiber lines. We have internet, so a lot of that's out of our control, county approvals and things whatnot. So we want to get that done as soon as possible. So we got it on this agenda, and then our DOE, you have to make a payment from them to process the project, and then another special education agreement. Any questions on that section before I move on?
I have a question.
Yep.
What do you do with the library books that are,
Most of them are damaged.
okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
they're disposed. Okay, moving on. YMCA swim contract, food service award. Again, just want to highlight that we're keeping our lunches flat for this year. for the 25-26 school year. 3 is the prices. 4 is the transportation rules discussed. 5 is our related services for the year for our special education students. 6 is our student services for gen ed students. 7 is beginning Vinto agreement with the ESC to help us with our compliance. 8 is our annual professional services we do every year, approved in the budget. 9 is before after care services renewal. And just want to say, last year we had over $70,000 returned to us through our aftercare program, so it's being fairly successful. District insurance, over budget because the reinsurance market right now is difficult, and it's due to significant payouts on claims. And so the cost for our umbrella coverage has gotten more expensive. 11 is our annual facilities applications for our cottages and some bathrooms that are, so if the bathroom's not in a pre-K, it might be like right outside the classroom, but it's not in the classroom, we need county approval, so that's there, we do this every year. Athletic Association. 13 is just our technology, telecom renewals. VOTEC for our cost for our VOTEC students. Union County ESC contracts, we do these every year. For students, we tuition, ESY tuition, any professional services we use, and we use them. We are responsible for assisting non-public schools for some of their funding, and for this we hire the ESC to help us with that. 16 is our parent contracts for special education. We do encourage this for our parents if possible. It does actually save the district money if we can get our parents to transport the students if they can, and it's good for them as well. So we've increased that. We used to didn't have any, but now we have 4, which is great. 17, so every 5 years we have to renew our master agreement. So the ESCNJ is services provided where they go out to bid for vendors that we use to get us the lowest prices, and we have to do an agreement with them every 5 years. 18, Strauss Esme for our policy. They provide policy recommendations for the board based on new state laws. 19 is our broker for our insurance that I just discussed. 20 is our broker for our health benefits. 21 this is an estimate. We still haven't received our federal funding for next year, so it's an open item. But we are putting in an estimate, so we have approval, so when we can, when it does come through, we can start spending it. Ed Data Services for 25-26. So Ed Data is, again, another resource we use for all of our supplies that the teachers purchase. We put it through a competitive bid process to get the lowest prices. Subscription busing. This will be our last increase. So over the past few years, to reiterate, I've done it multiple times, but our cost of busing has more than doubled over the past 3 years, and it has stabilized now, thankfully. Again, as you can see, as we had the transportation renewals at the CPI, which is still 3.57, where in the past it was always 1.6. So I don't, we're happy that they did renew at CPI, but it's still higher than we typically had more before the pandemic. So we're moving up to $1,500 per student, and our cost of busing is $2,000 per. So we'll stop here in terms of the price increases, unless we have some major increases next year, but I don't anticipate that. The next few resolutions are for our vendors. So that, again, the state, as well as these educational services commissions, go out to bid to get us the lowest prices, and we can use them. But when we over $44,000 with these vendors, they need board approval. So Home Depot, 24. 25 is our officials fees for next year. 26 is our custodial supplies. 27 is our tree service. 28 is our fire alarm, burglar alarm, intercom repair, phone repair, camera repair. 29 FW Web is for our HVAC supplies, plumbing supplies, more the specialized, what you can't get at Home Depot, really. Dynatech, we use them for a variety of software services that are listed on the resolution. 31 is for our asset inventory. We are required by the state to do an inventory of all our assets. That's what this is. And then 32 is approval to buy bus parts. Our buses are past their halfway life now, so the repairs have started to pick up. So that's why just a reminder, I added this last year to the agenda as the costs have gone up. Okay, those are my, I don't know what you call that, a lot of stuff, before I get to procedural.
That was 60 of the 73 items so far.
Yeah, keep going, almost there?
Yeah,
Any-
13 more.
Okay, any questions on those sections? Excellent. Okay, procedural, so this is sort of how we, some of the procedures for how we run things. Business administrator authorization, so I can pay bills between board meetings, so if there's a due date before, of course, we approved at the next board meeting. Purchasing agent allows me to purchase up to the bid threshold of $44,000. Robert's rules, number 3. Number 4, reapproving our policies. Our newspapers, number 5. Number 6 is the uniform chart of accounts. 7 is the maintenance and collection and maintenance of student records. With the decode, our depositories, which is just our bank accounts. We do have a new one this year. The new one is the bond referendum checking account. So we're required to open new a checking account just for tracking the bond referendum funding. Budget transfers, that authorizes me to do budget transfers. 10, petty cash. 11 and 12 is our investment providers for teachers and for all employees. 13 is the board, the readoption of all of our policy manuals. There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. So 73 items, Mr. Jones's report. Does anybody have any questions on any of those items
Only like 16 questions.
from our pre-reading? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve? Ms. Brody, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Benedict, any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will move to board policies. We have none. New board business. No. Liaison reports.
I have a real brief one.
Sure.
CPAC had our final meeting, I believe it was June 3rd, and we reviewed just overall year and some of the, they sent out a survey to get some feedback, but really what we discussed was some of the topics that were important for us for next year. And so for anyone that is interested in CPAC, to get an idea of the types of conversations we have, one of the things that we really dove into was executive functioning, but also sort of like a parent workshop. So I just wanted to share that little highlight in case you are interested in becoming a member of CPAC. There's a lot to look forward to next year. That's it.
Thank you. Any other liaison reports?
I have one.
Sure.
I met with the Field Light Advisory Board.
Oh,
So we met, and everything's going well. Happy with everything. So that's it. Just want to mention that we did it, and it's part of our agreement. And yeah, so that's it.
okay. Any other liaison reports? Okay. Seeing none, workshop reports. Resolutions are none. Approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the April 24th and May 6th minutes?
So moved.
Ms. Boroff, do we have a second? Ms. Barr, any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Public comment, second and final of the school year. In accordance with Scotts Miracle-Family Public School Bylaws 0164 and 0165, the meeting will be open for 15 minutes for public comment. Maximum 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers addressing superintendent items, business functions, and other board business will be heard first. If time remains, speakers may address other matters. Speakers, please state your name and the town in which you reside. Please note boards use the public comment period as an opportunity to listen to citizen concern, but not to debate issues or enter into a question and answer session or cross-examination between the public and individual members. Be aware that not all issues brought before the board will be resolved that evening. Boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or her designee. So I will now open it up for 15 minutes for public comment. Please state your name and the town in which you reside, or any former board positions you held within the district.
Hi, I'm Amy Winkler, and I live in Fanwood, and I was not planning on making public comment this evening, but I do want to congratulate Mr. Benedict. I want to just state that if anyone is around and available on Saturday and has some time, we're having our, I think it's the 8th annual, maybe, Juneteenth event at Shady Rest. It starts at noon, it's going till 7. We've got live music and dance performances and lots of different vendors selling different products. We've got several food vendors. It should be a whole day of fun. There will be mini golf and other activities for children. There will be tours of the Shady Rest facility itself, which is historical and really fascinating site in town. And I just encourage everyone to come on out because it'll be a fun day. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Winkler.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, I will close the second and final upcoming meeting schedule. So we have our next public meeting is going to be August 26th, and then September 17th is the September meeting. Go to the order.
I've got one.
Go for it.
Well, one, back to Amy Winkler. I love seeing your face here tonight because we have to ease off of this, getting used to you not being on this side. But in all seriousness, again, thank you so much for all of your service, and to Jason, congratulations. Stephanie had mentioned in her report, and I just really want to highlight how exciting it is that the life skills room at the high school, I'm not sure, just in case anybody missed that it is a weekly that there are students that go from the middle school and have their coffee cart, and they serve, they learn all sorts of life skills through that service, and it's just beautiful. And I've received so much feedback on it, and I just really want to commend the staff and admin for letting that happen. So that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Boroff. Other, go to the order, Mac.
I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you for allowing me to have this incredible experience. This has truly been a highlight of my high school experience, and I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of this. I am inspired by all of you, and just getting to learn from you these past 2 years has been something so special to me, and I know I'm going to take a lot of this with me into college and my future in general. To Dr. Mast, I have gotten to know you pretty well over these past 2 years, and just everything you do is so incredible, and you're a real inspiration to me, and I thank you for everything you've done. I've loved growing up in this district. It's been like the best school experience ever, and I know that's thanks to all of you and all of the work that the board does and all of our teachers, so thank you for that. To Grace, I am so lucky to have gotten to do this past year with you. I met you on the first day of AP Spanish, and I had no idea who you were. And now we've gotten so close, and I just couldn't think of anyone better to continue this next year, and I can't wait to see all you do, so thank you. I don't know if she's in the room, but to Robin, if she's here, I just want to say thank you for always being so kind and helpful and welcoming and responding to all my emails and questions and everything, so thank you. And again, thank you to all of you. This has been such a great experience for me.
Thank you. I would have expected you to do that in Spanish since you do an AP Spanish. I would have thought you would have done the whole Grace did in Spanish.
Go to her for the real Spanish. But,
We're going to miss you, Mac. Thank
and
you.
I'll see you at graduation, obviously, too. But.
Yes, bright and early.
There's 4 more day drop-offs, but be careful at drop-off. Crazy out there.
Yep, it definitely is.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to Mac primarily, and all the graduating seniors and their families. What an achievement. And Mac, you talked about your legacy, which was the clap out, when I hadn't even known that you were involved. But when I saw pictures of it on the Facebook page, I immediately got in touch with Dr. Mast, and I said, what a great, I just felt so touched, and I thought, what a great, full circle experience for the seniors, and I thought it was amazing. And she said, that was Mac's idea, so what an amazing legacy to leave. Thank you for bringing that to the district. We're going to miss you, good luck in everything that you do in Boston and beyond. And yeah, that's it. And I also want to thank like all the staff and teachers and everyone in the buildings for all their hard work over the course of the year. And I hope everyone has a wonderful summer.
I just wanted to share that I was able to participate and celebrate with the staff and students back in May on the 20th, along with some other board members, and it was wonderful to see those landmark years of service and those who were retiring for the last time being with us at the ceremony. And then also, I was attending the Seal of Biliteracy program on May 22nd to see all the students. There was over 80 students that received seals of biliteracy in various languages, including Ukrainian, and who knew? It was a fabulous ceremony. They had some fan dancers, and they played various music while we entered and waited for the ceremony to begin, but it was wonderful to see all the students being multilingual. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kulkowski.
Just to follow up on Mrs. Huriani and the senior clap out, I'd like to have Mac officially pass the torch to Grace to make sure that it goes on next year and it's even better.
And I just want to say thank you to the board for choosing me and appointing me to this board. It has been a long-time dream of mine to serve in this capacity. I'm excited, and I wanted everybody to know I will do what I can, my hardest, to not let you down. So thank you.
Thank you. Heather, for the good of the order. I have a
Oh,
couple.
no, I just wanted to say, Mac, that day, like at pickup, all the little kids out of Kohl's were running out being like, oh my God, the big kids were here too. So it was, they loved it just as much as you loved it. So it was really special.
So I have two. One is a special thanks to Matt Tibbles. So Matt Tibbles is passing on the torch as president of the Booster Club after 13 years. I think the impact and contributions from the Boosters Club has been immeasurable. I think they've done an unbelievable job. So thanks to Matt for everything he's done.
All the hours in the food shack.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also thanking every single employee of the district, whether it's a teacher, grounds and maintenance, support staff, everybody and for everything that they do every day. But this another successful year for the district, and we couldn't have been done without all of you. So thank you for everything you do on a day in and day out basis, as well as our audiovisual crew. Thank you guys so much for everything you do, obviously making these meetings happen. So congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to the class of 2025. And everybody enjoy their summer. So with that, we need to make a motion to reconvene into executive session to discuss subjects around the superintendent evaluation. Once that concludes, we will come back into public, so nobody needs to stay, unless they really want to close out the meeting. So do we have a motion to go into exec?
So moved.
Dr. Kulkowski, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Williams, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. We are going to exec to talk about the superintendent evaluation, and pretty much the meeting is concluded after that. Thank you, everybody.